yesterday, as I recovered a little bit and we went through those sign changes and we got stretched a little bit, Spirit World began bringing in quite a bit of information that I want to share with you. And then today I was driving around running errands, and oh my goodness, a lot came through today as well. So I want to share some spirit messages with you about the big contest. And word to the wise, I'm going to be talking in a lot of code because I got a strike, a warning against my account for a little bit of a saucy comment that I left. So I've got to play it a little bit more straight and narrow between the lines. So you guys are going to have to read between the lines. Second thing, huge presence and thoughts and compassion for everyone who's in the middle of the fires in LA. It's just even hard for me to make this video on one topic, thinking that people are in serious harm's way and dealing with some very tragic things right now. And so I just want to throw out, our compassion, our prayers, and our light and our love and support is with all of you. For the purposes of this video, what I found very interesting as I came in to do this video, I really try and have a focal point. And the focal point of this video, according to Spirit Team, is emotional preparation for not the what if that is going to happen concerning the contest, but what is already in process and will begin to land very soon concerning the contest. And so everything that I'm going to share with you has to do with you preparing your mental awareness and your emotional awareness and your physical awareness to begin to see some very disconcerting events that are probably going to happen very rapidly and affect all of us very deeply. And as much as you may want to anticipate certain things happening, when it actually begins to come to fruition, it can be a totally different thing. And that's what Spirit World is most concerned about for us. They want us to know it is going to be very intense. It is going to change everything. We cannot even understand the magnitude of what's going to be happening very soon. And as I was driving around today, I kept having that feeling in my body of oh my God, this is happening. Oh my God. I literally could feel in my body it was happening. And that created a sense of some excitement. And then as the day wore on, I started feeling very nauseous. And that nauseousness was oh my God, this is huge and big. And it's almost even hard to look at. And here is why. Let's move into some of the information as to why you need to emotionally prepare yourself for this impact. Let's start from the place of perspective. Our perspective since the contest night has, we've had our noses squished right up against that glass looking at two players, right there. Well, I want you to pan back, and the player scene, the playing field is quite large, and it's not only domestic, it's international. Let's then look at this whole thing from the perspective that the primary player that we're looking at, he is evidence. Yes, he's on the playing field, and there's some responsibility there, but he's evidence. And if he is evidence, that means they're going to treat him differently. And I think that's why we see all the cards stacking up the way they've been stacking up. We've been going, wait, what about? There's a spot and there's a spot, and why? What we need to realize is he is evidence, okay? If you begin to see that person in that light, a lot of the other cards fall into place quite easily from there. My pendulum picked up on the fact that there were certain people that began putting instrumental things into place in 2016. That's when the rubber really began to meet the road. And I think we can probably look at the contest at this point as probably one of the most historic sting operations I think we will ever see, period. I think one of the most interesting pieces of the puzzle of this whole thing that makes a whole lot more sense right now is the reason why Merrick Garland waited so long to begin to pursue a certain person. Because if that certain person had been held up in a certain kind of an institution, then he would not be available to be evidence. So it makes a case for why we have all been going through this emotional consternation of why this singular person has been so slippery. And so now I understand more why certain players allowed certain other people to run around for quite some time, because the person doing the running around was creating quite a bit of evidence. And you kind of need that to be able to put a play together, so to speak. The spirit world does want to swing through a funny ha-ha, and that funny ha-ha is their verbiage for they call those things wrist bracelets. Evidently in spirit world, they call those things wrist bracelets. And they want folks to know that the wrist bracelets in certain forms and certain fashions will happen. And again, I think I said a little bit previously, we're at a point in the process, folks, that this is already in motion. This is already happening. Spirit world is of the mind of like, why are you guys still sitting on the if? This is actually happening. It's now a matter of when, and you need to be prepared. And so let's talk a little bit about that preparation. Even though this is headed in the direction that I really do believe is constructive and positive and will land a certain lady in a certain seat during the month of March, I really do believe in my heart of hearts that that is going to happen. Like physically, I can feel that in my body. I see her, I feel it, it's happening, it's there. But to get from where we are now to there is going to be one hell of a bumpy ride. I can guarantee you that. Maybe physically, but definitely mentally and emotionally and energetically. And here's the thing that we really have to take into account. We are going to be going off script. We're going to be going off script. We are used to our leaders working in a certain kind of way and our government functioning in a certain kind of way and a timeline being answered to in a certain kind of way. And the apple cart is going to get upset. Apple cart's going to get upset. And as the apple cart is going to get upset, even if we are like constructively for this and positively for this in the direction that we would like to go, even though we may be feeling positive about it, we're still going to feel the energetic and emotional impact of like, whoa, oh, this is a lot bigger than I thought it was. We're going to feel that impact. Now, the other thing that I want to be really clear about as far as us feeling the impact is that part of that impact that we're going to feel in the change is this is so much larger than we can anticipate. Because if the main player, who we thought that was the main player, who was the focus of the play, so to speak, if that person is actually the evidence, the picture is so much larger. And my spirit team has been calling that picture, that larger picture, the viral load. And what they mean by that is that, remember me talking in the video about like I was sitting looking at Congress in the House and spirit team was over my shoulder and they were saying to me, Dana, you're looking right at it. And I'm like, what am I looking at? And then that's what they channeled to me yesterday. The viral load of certain interferences that have been going on for quite some time, the viral load has reached a certain level that when this all begins to unravel, it is going to unravel in a way that we may not be able to mentally and emotionally comprehend it. And Spirit Team keeps talking to me about people getting hurt. And I think what they're talking about is really deep emotional hurt. This may hit some people in their wallets. There may be physical turmoil in places. And so even though I want to stay positive about our eventual landing spot is going to be a positive, constructive place, I also want to be very clear that we may be in for quite a bumpy ride from where we're at to where we're going. And there may be days or even weeks where we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going to happen. There may be that, whoa, we don't know where we're at. Oh boy, there may be that happens. And so you need to be ready to ride that out. Okay? And we've been preparing for this, okay? As we have taken these steps through this landscape, have you noticed as it's been difficult, you have gotten stronger. You've gotten more resilient. You've learned that you can be present through your cracking points. You know, Japanese, what is it called? Japanese curcuro, where the vessel cracks and the light comes through. We've had a lot of cracking going on, so there's a lot of light coming through. And so our landscape that we've been living through has actually mentally, emotionally prepared us for getting stronger in dealing with the unknown. So we may have to do more of that. And I know that's probably not something you probably don't want to hear that right now. You're like, Dana, I just want an outcome. Well, to get from where we're at to where the outcome is, I feel, very potentially going to land, we're going to be riding through some landscape. And that's what my spirit team wanted me to come on and share with you. This message is about me, eyes, right? This is about me getting in front of you and going, practice, presence practice, grounding, breathing, centering. Are you in your body? Calling in your spirit team, anchoring in, white lighting. We're all going to be okay. We're going to make it through. You need your practice. You need to be talking with spirit team. You need to be doing your self-talk, your self-coaching about, it's a bumpy ride and it looks kind of dicey, but we are going to make it through this. This is the kind of self-talk we need to be having with ourselves. I think that's pretty much the message that Spirit Team wanted me to wrap up for you guys tonight. I know I will be coming through with more. And yes, I know it's like challenging and intense and things look very difficult. And this message that I'm giving to you, it may not lighten the load a whole lot, and I just want to keep in front of you that we are going to get through this, and we are going to get through this into that new place. And when we get there, we're probably going to look back and go, oh my God, how did we get through all of that? Look what we just did. All right. So, and I will see you in the next video.